Hello Ratbags, it's Jade, welcome to a Scrap Mechanic tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to use creative mode in survival. Obviously survival is an ultimate challenge for you mechanics, but maybe there's something you want to spawn in just to see what happens. Maybe you want to do a bit of testing, or you want to challenge some of your friends. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. Why though? Why can't you just use the creative mode? Well, you can, but the creative mode doesn't actually have the bots in it that you find in the rest of the normal survival world, and it doesn't have the same sort of experience. Maybe you just need a little bit of extra help to stop you grinding. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you how you can set up some challenges with your friends really quickly and easy. Bunch of stuff, bunch of commands. Let's go. Don't forget to like Scrap Mechanic tutorial on creative. So another top reason is there is actually more items when you do this in survival than there is when you just test it out in a normal creative session. So we're in the creative session right now. You can see you've got the general items, tools, blocks, etc. But when we take a look at interactives, you'll find that there's a lot more when I show you how to do this in survival mode. There's usually just one page of interactive items. So I'm now in a fresh survival world and I've already activated cheats, which I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. You are going to need to go into your game files, but what you'll have here is you can put unlimited as a cheat, and what it does, it opens up so many more items, so many more interactives, and a bunch more stuff that you can mess around and try it for yourself. Take a look at the blocks. It's pretty much the same in the creative. The parts are more or less the same, but look how much more there is in the interactive tab. All of this stuff can be spawned in and you can try using it. Now, not all of it works correctly. Some items are a little bit just for scenery, or they don't necessarily work how you might think they are, but you can get all the upgraded driving seats, the saddles and the engines and a bunch more, and they all work. I'm going to show you how to do all of it. Big shout out to GTX for showing me how to do this when we had a little scrap session together. Basically, go into libraries, then right click on Scrap Mechanic, go to properties, and then you want to go to files. You can see local files just in the top right there, the little tab. So click on local files, then click browse local files, and it'll bring up the file tab where you can pretty much change something to activate unlimited resources and the cheat codes. When it opens up, you want to go to survival, then you want to go to scripts, then you want to click on game, then find survival game just here. Right click and open it up with Notepad. Then you need to find something called function survival game.client _ on create. It pretty much lists all of the spawn commands that you can use and mess around with. Underneath it, you've got the sentence if space g.survivaldev. Delete the g survival dev part and just simply put the word true. So it should look exactly like that. Go ahead and go to file and then click save, and that will save the game file for Scrap Mechanic. Start Scrap Mechanic up again. Obviously you need to make sure that you haven't been running Scrap Mechanic while you're doing this. You can go ahead and exit safely out of the files now. So once you're back in Scrap Mechanic, press the enter key and then go ahead and do / and type the command in. First one I'm doing is / spud gun, all one word, then press enter and it will spawn in a spud gun. Now I've gone ahead and I've copy and pasted all the commands in a comment, in the top comment pinned on this video. Press the enter bar again and go ahead and put / unlimited, and it will give you all the items that are in the game, much more than you get normally in creative mode. I presume you can use this same command in creative mode and it will give you access to them extra interactive items. So you can see it's all just the plain simple stuff like the driver's seat, but if you scroll all the way down you can pull in lots of the natural items like rocks and trees, and all of the upgraded saddles, all the upgraded engines and controller boxes. You can also spawn in a bunch of stuff. There are no consumables under the consumable tab. You'll normally find them in the interactive section if you just keep scrolling down. You can spawn in all sorts of stuff, objects in the worlds that make up things like the spaceship, as well as debris from a lot of the bots. Now there are some issues with some of this stuff. The debris from the bots obviously does disappear because that's exactly what happens when you destroy one. Afterwards, some of its parts disappear, only leaving the one thing for you to refine. But I will show you the commands in a while how to spawn in lots of the actual creatures if you want to fight some of the bots. Here I'm just spawning in some of the terrain features like the big rocks, so you can go ahead and test out your drill on these and not have to go searching for them. Do note that sometimes you can't stack some of these items when you're in unlimited mode. You're going to have to put the command /limited to go back to normal inventory, and then you should be able to stack some of these items. I tried creating my own tree out of all the parts, but it just wasn't having it. But you can do this when you come out of unlimited mode and go back to the normal version. You can even spawn in parts like the trader, but unfortunately it doesn't necessarily work, so you won't be able to shorten it unless there's a way to connect it up, hook it up. Maybe that will change in the future, but it's still fun to take a look at some of this stuff. Like I said, you'll find some consumable items actually in the parts section. You can see I've got milk and all the foods, as well as fertilizer and lots of oil, etc. And you can see I've spawned in even a battery and put the battery in the battery slot, as well as a crafting bench. But again, there seems to be some sort of issues with connecting some of these up. Maybe it just needs a bit more time. I haven't got the best experience in making lots of connections. And lastly, FYI, when you spawn in a higher version of an engine, like engine level 5, you won't be able to put the batteries in it while in unlimited mode. So you do need to put /limited to go back to the rest of the other version, and then you'll be able to put the batteries or fuel into the higher grade engines. The command you just saw there was obviously changing from nighttime to daytime, and it will pretty much stay like this daytime for the rest of your game period. And here I am just messing about with some of the fruit crates, just seeing what happens when you stack some of them on. These things you can actually stack. The commands always have to be lowercase, don't do it in uppercase or they won't work. I've just returned to limited and I'm going to try out my new contraption I just made, and I can now stack the oil and put it into the engine. When you're in unlimited mode you can't do this, you can't put the oil into the correct slots, but now we've come out we can do that, and I'm putting my gas engine levels up a little bit. And yes, this is probably one of the worst contraptions or vehicles I've ever made, but you know, I was just doing it for quickness. Now you will find some blocks that look like they're spots that you can put obviously seeds in, but for some reason it doesn't actually work when you do it this way, so you still need to use the actual fertilizer bags to make yourself some crop plots. You can also spawn in a bunch of different starter kits. These will be little boxes filled with things like seeds or food or starter blocks, and this is why I mean you can have a good challenge with your friends. You could say that you're only allowed to make something with 2 or 3 starter blocks, or if you want to try testing out some farm stuff, then spawning one of these in is a lot quicker than spawning in all the items, especially if you don't want to use the unlimited cheats and you do just want to kind of be a little bit less cheaty. For the seed kit, it's /seed kit. For food, it's /food kit. If we take a look at all the stuff that's in the food kit, you see it's got a nice big selection of everything you need if you want to try out and see which one gives you better food and better water. /pipe kit, and you'll get yourself a big selection of pipes which you can mess around with. Now there's a starter kit called mechanic starter kit, but it hasn't anything inside. It's just a black empty chest. If you do want a nice selection of blocks, then use /starter kit and you'll get yourself a bunch of different blocks and items. Like I said, the codes for all of these are in the comment section, so I'm not going to show them on screen. If you find you're small and you can't read the writing, go ahead and see the comment. You can spawn in a different selection of guns, including the shotgun and the Gatling, but if you want ammo, then it's just simply /ammo and it'll give you 50 potato rounds. So this is pretty much how all them YouTubers can make all these creations. I bet they're all cheating. /component, and you'll get yourself a bunch of components. You just got to put a space, then type the number that you want. And like I said, if you want to spawn in some of the bots, well, you can do that. Just simply type /spawn, leave a space, and type in the bot that you want. So I've tried the tape bot, and you can see he's attacking me. I am in God mode, and unsurprisingly, that one is /God, and it will make you invulnerable. You don't have to worry about eating or drinking. Give myself a little bit more ammo, and we'll take out this tape bot with a lot of quickness with the Gatling gun. You can go ahead and spawn in a mock as well if you want to, so you can set up your own proper dairy farm. There's a few commands that don't work, and if it obviously crashes your game, you're going to have to reload. I tried one being called ambush, and it's meant to basically set a bunch of robots on you, but it didn't actually work, or I couldn't find any reason why it wasn't working. So maybe try that out a little bit. Maybe it's down to being in certain parts of the map. Also that needs a little bit more experimentation is raiding. If you do /raid, then leave a space and type in 1, which is pretty much your location. Leave a space, type in the wave number, which I did as just 5. I think it's that much. Then leave a space and put in the actual time. So if you put in 12, it will be 12 hours. If you put just 1, it will be just 1 hour. And it sets off the unauthorized farming detected sign. You'll also see the timer pop up usually. But nothing happens. There was no bots coming for me, so maybe there's got to be some in the area. Maybe there just weren't any close by, but I wasn't actually raided by anything. But it would be good if this gets working, because then we can actually test out your defenses or any new traps that you make. If you do /aggro all, you will make any bots in the area come for you. But again, there was only one bot that came for me when I did this command. One of the tiny little electrocuting head bot ones. So that was it. I took him out pretty much with just one shot, and that was job done. So lots of commands. I'll leave you guys to go and check them out in the comment section and try them out. But one word of warning, some objects, some items, if they do have the words BJ or OBJ, that obviously stands for object, be careful when using them. You can't actually get rid of them. So these are parts from the spaceship. I was trying to just put it onto a structure, and afterwards you can get rid of the blocks here, but you can't actually get rid of them spaceship parts. They will stay there forever. So if they're attached to a build that you're making, you won't be able to actually get rid of them unless you just get rid of all of the parts in and around it. And finally, if you do the recreate world, it will pretty much restart the whole world. So if you do have anything you've not been able to get rid of, you can do it again, but be warned, it will destroy all your bases and items. Although it will still leave you with some stuff in your inventory. It's up to you whether or not you use these cheats and how you do it, but like I said, it's a good idea to spawn in some of the starter packs maybe, or try some of the farming stuff so you can just test stuff without having to worry you're going to waste resources. Here, me and GT were doing a little bit of a challenge. He was building his own vehicle, I was building mine, and we did that using the cheat commands. If you activate it for yourself, then the other player does have to have the same cheat command installed, so he will have to go and edit their game, so make sure they do that before they join your world, otherwise they won't be able to join. For any reason you want rid of all the cheats, if there's an update or something seems broken, just click view integrity of files and it normally fixes it when you're in Steam. You guys play the game how you want. I've got no problems with using these types of cheats, even in survival games. It's your time. If you want to spawn something in very quickly, maybe you died and you forgot where your loot bag was or it's not showing up, then it's a good reason that you can spawn some of this stuff in. Or maybe you just want to explore a little bit more survival without having to worry about the grind. Let me know how you play the game. Let me know if any of the commands don't work or what ones you did get to work, maybe like the raid mechanics, and I'll see you ratbags for another scrap mechanic tutorial very soon.